What's going on, guys? FJ Eric here, and I was gonna do a short product review. Wasn't able to camp this weekend, so this is what I'm doing. I've got 2 sleeping bags and a sleeping pad in this pack, and this is actually just one huge sleeping bag. So, gonna reviewing a few different ones, showing you the pros and cons that I've had with them. It actually snowed in Alabama last night, and you could probably still maybe see a few flurries coming down. But yeah, it's like 20 degrees, maybe 19 or something like that. So it's pretty chilly, but no worries. First question you need to answer is, what kind of camping are you going to be doing? More backpacking, where you need something that packs down really small, super lightweight? Or are you going to be doing more like car camping, where you can just leave it in there all the times and you can kind of get away with, like, you know, a huge duffel bag, a size sleeping bag, or even in a rooftop tent where you can just leave all your stuff in there and you don't have to worry about carrying it. We'll start with the biggest one, and that's going to be my Coleman, which was like $40 at Walmart. This thing's massive. It's a huge mummy bag. But here it is. Don't ask me why everything I have is green, but now for the price of this one, I've been pretty impressed, I guess you could say. But like I said, it's just so massive that you don't want to carry this thing anywhere. It doesn't say it on the pack or the bag, but I'm almost for sure it's a 0-degree bag. And it cinches on the inside right there around your neck, so that's pretty nice. And obviously it's the mummy style, so you've got that hood on there. I know, talking to a lot of people, it really is just mainly preference. But I've always had the mummy bag. I always thought, you know, hey, these are the best ones, so I've always been looking out for them. But like I said, it's just all preference. So if you just need something right away, I say, yeah, just go ahead and spend the money on this one. You can also bundle up, have blankets and whatnot that you can actually fit inside of this. Like, that's how big it is. So you can definitely stay warm in some really cold weather. Just keep in mind, you don't want to be carrying this like out on the trail anywhere. Next 2 bags, I definitely recommend having a sleep pad for. I touched briefly just on the sleep pads and how they work, and explained a little bit more in detail on the trip with the family out to California. So if you want to check that out, I'll put that above and below. Next up though is going to be the Marmot. I've had this one for a pretty long time, and I actually had a different bag for this one because it's broke right here. Ended up snapping on me. But this thing actually gets smaller, even smaller than this thing. So if you grab you another compression sack that's a little bit smaller, most of the time you can pack these down and get them in your bags. And like I said, I've had this bag for a long time. Definitely recommend it more for probably summer. You can tell the material is a lot thinner though, but you can definitely stay warm in this, no doubt. You just have to have a little bit extra gear with it. I mainly use this one for hammock camping, so definitely really good for that. And you can even use the sleeping pads in hammocks as well to stay a little bit warmer, or just for a little bit more comfort. What's different about this hood than that Coleman is you can actually cinch the whole hood down, just like over your face. So that's really good to have, you know, when it is really cold. But like I said, if you need something cheap and you have the Coleman already and then you end up getting this one and then it's like stupid cold, what I did in Kentucky was I actually layered them. I was inside this one and then I put this one inside of the Coleman, and I stayed a little bit warmer that way. But definitely the way the shape of this compression sack is, fits really weird inside of a hiking pack. It's almost like a women's basketball or something, I don't know. It's not like your typical, you know. Now to the Quilt, which has been my favorite so far, and this is actually the first quilt I've ever had, and I've kind of gotten turned on to using quilts a little bit more, especially in the future. The one thing that does separate this, especially from the other ones, is going to be, it doesn't have the hood, but it is a down quilt. And the other 2 are synthetic. So this one gets even smaller than both of those. And this one is a 15 degree. Coldest I've slept in it was 6 degrees. Still stayed warm. So I know you'll have no problem. So since it's a quilt, this thing is actually square. And you're probably thinking, you know, how's that going to help? But you've got all these clips on the back, and even at the bottom, it's got that where you can cinch it down, so it'll form just like a regular sleeping bag. However, these are a little bit more expensive for sure, but they are a lot better, in my opinion. And you can also cinch the top down too. Throw it over your head and then cinch it down, just like in the mummy bags. The reason I was saying you definitely need a sleeping pad for these is because when you cinch it down in the back, you actually wrap this long strap around the sleeping pad, and then that's how you lay on it. And I know some people that's complained to me saying, you know, that they can't lay sideways or something like that because it gets like a little air draft. I've never had that issue, and I lay all sorts of ways, so I don't know, dude, maybe it's just you. So with the quilts, you're actually going to lay on that open side, and that's what's going to kind of keep everything in. But overall, I've been very happy with this one though. Like I said, this is just an off-brand that I found on Amazon that was cheaper than most of the ones. So definitely check it out. Now they do make some down mummy bags. Haven't got to try one of those out yet, but if I do in the future, you will sure know about it. And maybe I'll have another review on that versus the quilt. Not sure yet. But let me know what y'all use. Are you a quilt person or more of the mummy person? And I'd be more than happy to check out the brands that y'all send me as well. Maybe even try them out too. I just love gear, to be honest. So I love learning all about it, trying new things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, and then trying to share, you know, my knowledge as best as possible too. So maybe you don't waste a bunch of money on it buying several different things. One of the really cool things that I've found about these two is since they do open up like a blanket, you can use them just like a blanket. So, I mean, even though it's rated 15 degrees, you can use it in warmer weather too if you open it up, and you get a little bit more airflow in it. Whether that be while you're sleeping or even by the fire, you know, just using it, something like that. I mean, throw it on the ground, doesn't really matter. Just as long as you don't get it wet, obviously, because it's down. But check out those links. Also, check out one of my other videos doing the review on the down versus synthetic jacket, and tell me what your thoughts are on that. Next weekend I'm going to be doing some more mods to the FJ, and I'll be camping at a park close to the shop, so definitely stay tuned. Peace.